Hey everybody, it's Glenn, back in this video with more customizing Mania, and by coincidence, the character's called Mania. Tish. So in between videos, you can see I've swapped out one of the hands. It's the Marvel Legends Carnage Infinite Series hand, as suggested by one of you in the comments for the previous part, and I think I'm going to go with these hands instead of the Morbius ones. Whereas the Morbius one, it just rotates. The Carnage one rotates, plus it's also hinged, and they achieve the same effect with being big clawed hands, so I'm going to go with a better articulated one. Plus I just happen to have these Carnage hands going spare, what with customizing a Carnage into Magneto, which you may have seen a few months back. So here is the other Carnage hand. These are all now going onto the electric heater to soften the plastic enough to enable me to swap these hands. So onto the electric heater they go. The heater's on a low setting. I'll leave these parts on here for about 5 minutes. That should be enough to soften the plastic. Becoming quite the guest star, this electric heater, isn't it? I guess I should personalise it and give it a name. I can't think of one right now. If you've got a good name for my electric heater, mention it in the comments below. So that should have softened the plastic enough. There. Let's remove the Carnage hand. Pop that into our Mania. So that's those swapped in. I've also removed the sculpting I did around the wrists. I originally did that as a kind of wrap bandage to match those Morbius hands. Bit of a pain as that's some work down the drain, but hey, customizing, so much of it is trial and error. So while these boots are a really nice fit on the peg of the Mania leg, this upper part of the leg does overhang the boot, so I'm going to pop these boots off, and then with my Dremel I'm going to grind away some of the leg here so it actually looks like this upper part is fitting into the boot. So I've heated the legs and removed the boots. Now it's time to Dremel. So I'm done with grinding. I'm now just going to tidy all this up with some sandpaper. There, so let's put the boots back on. Now you should see the difference now. It actually looks like that leg's fitting into the boot. I'm now going to work on her knee pads, and for those I'm going to cut them from this plastic sheet. I've used this previously in customizing. You may recognize these cutout shapes from the plates that ran down the back of my Stegron Custom. And in case you're after anything like this, you should be able to find this at your local hobby, craft / art store. So I'm going to use a Sharpie to draw out the rough shape that I want and then cut that out. I'm using tin snips to do this. It's probably too thick to be able to do it with regular scissors. So there are the knee pad shapes cut out, and to attach these I'm going to drill a hole into each of the knees, and then into that I've cut off this cocktail stick, and then into the hole that's going to sit inside. I'll glue that in place, and then I'm going to drill a hole in this piece of plastic, and then that will slide over, and then this will actually hold the knee pad in place, plus it's actually going to be one of the spikes coming out of the knee pad. Have a bunch of really small drill bits which come in handy in various customizing projects. I'm going to drill into the kneecap. And then into the second knee. I'm using Evo stick glue. It's in 2 parts, which you need to mix together. I've dipped the base of the spike in the glue. I'm going to place that inside the knee now. Now going to drill a hole in the knee pads. I have both of them sandwiched together here. I've slid one over. Now I'm going to slide that second one over. So I've mixed some epoxy clay. I'm now going to beef up these knee pads. I'm also going to add some epoxy clay on the reverse of the knee pad, which will help make it look chunkier and will also aid supporting it. Decided I don't actually like the shape of these knee pads. I think I'm going to cut the bottom off just so it has better symmetry with the straps on the boot. Yeah, I think that's better. It's definitely more complementary to the form. So I've cut the tips off a bunch of those cocktail sticks. I'm going to drill some holes in the action figure and then glue these in, much like I did that one on the knee. So I'm going to apply a texture over the spiked armoured parts on the custom. I'm using Sidel texture paint. It's basically paint with sand in it. And in applying this texture, I'm trying to give it a more organic look. If you look at Agent Venom on his armoured parts, he has that more organic texture. And I want some synergy between this custom and that action figure. And then repeat with the textured spikes on her arms as well. So here she is. I think I've pretty much done all the sculpting. I've sanded her and she's ready to paint. But to see her painted, you're going to have to wait for the next part. So stay tuned for that. And as ever, I would really appreciate it if you could help me out by giving this video a big thumbs up. Also remember to comment, share and subscribe. Check out the description beneath this video for links to my Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Click those links and connect with me there too. Hope to see you in my next video. Bye.